Hey guys, today we'll be looking at chain rule derivative examples. For these examples, I'll be focusing on product and quotient rule with the chain rule. I'll be making other videos of the chain rule with the power rule and the chain rule done multiple times, so you can go check those out. Alright, so right here is our chain rule, and all it means is if you have a function within a function and you take the derivative, you have the outside function derivative times the inside function, or still have the inside function, and then you multiply it all by the derivative of the inside function. Alright, for our first example, this example you can do quotient or product rule, but I prefer to bring the denominator to the numerator, which would be x squared to the negative 1/2, just because it looked like it could get messy with the quotient rule. You can try it either way and see what you get. You should get the same thing. Alright, so if we take dy dx for product rule, we take the derivative of the first term, which would be x, and we have our second term, and you add the first term times the derivative of the second term, and this is where our chain rule kicks in. We'll take that negative 1/2 out front of our x squared plus 1. We'll subtract 1. And now we have to multiply by the derivative of the inside, that x squared plus 1. And we'll multiply by 2x. So now, over here, we can put that x squared plus 1 on the bottom of the fraction. And we still have that square root since it's to the 1/2. And over here, it looks like we'll have our 1/2 cancel with our 2. And we're going to combine our x's. So we'll have an x squared, and if we bring this x squared plus 1 to the negative 3/2 to the denominator, we'll have x squared plus 1 to the positive 3/2 on the denominator. And that's the answer. You can get it doing the quotient rule as well. Alright, on to our second example. F of x equals 2x minus 5 to the third times 6x squared minus 7 to the negative third. Alright, so the first one, we take the derivative of the first term, and this will be our second term. So the derivative of the first term will be, take that 3 out in front, and you'll still have the derivative, or just the inside. And now we have to take the derivative of the inside, which would just be 2. And now we multiply it by our second term with product rule, following the product rule. And now we add our first term times the derivative of our second term. So we take that negative 3 out front, so 6x squared minus 7, and we subtract 1, and we multiply by the derivative of the inside, which would be 12x. Alright, now there's a lot of simplification, so we can multiply that 3 and 2 together and multiply by 2x minus 5 squared all over. We can take that negative third power to our denominator. And now we have on our right side, we still have 2x minus 5 cubed, and we can multiply it by what? That negative 3 times that 12x, which would be negative 36x, all divided by, we can take the negative fourth power to the denominator of our fraction, and it'll be a fourth power. And there's a lot more simplification you can do here if you want to combine all these terms. It'll take a little bit, but you can get there. For our last example, we'll do the quotient rule on this one. So first thing, you can rewrite it as x squared plus 1 cubed divided by x squared minus 1 cubed, just so you can think of it better. So now for our quotient rule, so if we take dy dx, we take the derivative of our numerator, so take that 3 out in front, x squared plus 1, subtract 1, Now we take the derivative of the inside, which would be 2x. We multiply it by our denominator, x squared minus 1 cubed. And we subtract. So we took the derivative of the top the first time. Now we take the derivative of the bottom. So 3 times x squared minus 1 squared times 2x, which is the derivative of the inside. And we multiply that by our numerator, x squared plus 1 cubed. And that's all divided by x squared minus 1 cubed squared. And that's our quotient rule. So now we have a lot of just combining terms. So on the top, we can multiply that 3 by that 2x. So we'll have a 6x times x squared plus 1 squared times x squared minus 1 cubed. And we can have a 6x on this side too. 6x, our x squared minus 1 squared, our x squared plus 1 cubed, and this is all over x squared minus 1. And since it's a cubed to the second power, we're going to multiply that together, and we'll have a 6th power on the bottom. Now on this top, on this side and this side, we have a lot of terms that are similar, so we can take them out front. We can factor them out. So we'll factor out a 6x. And if we factor out a x squared plus 1 squared and an x squared minus 1 squared, we'll get, so we'll still have an x squared minus 1, and then we'll have minus, and we'll, on the right side, we'll still have an x squared plus 1. And all this will still be over x squared minus 1 to the 6th. Now we can see that this term is the same as this term, so we can cancel, and this will make this go to a 4th power since you subtract. And we'll still have, on the top, we'll have 6x times x squared plus 1 squared. And this over here, let's look at this part, we'll have that x squared cancel since the negative is going to be distributed. And we'll have a negative 1 minus 1, so that'll be a negative 2. We can add this negative 2 right here. And that'd be all be over x squared minus 1 to the 4th. And if we clean it up a little bit more, we can have negative 12x times x squared plus 1 squared all over x squared minus 1 to the 4th. And that's it.